Well, welcome to the Christy Jones Show, where it's all about living your life to the fullest. I'm a life coach, speaker, and business owner in multifamily real estate, and I've had wild success in multifamily housing for over 25 years now. I am so passionate about helping others merge their success and lead a fulfilling life, and I bring it all together right here on this podcast. So join me and let's get started to live your life to the fullest. Hey, my friend, welcome back to the podcast. Glad that you're here this week. And we are getting into it today. So buckle up. It's going to be a fire episode. I want to talk about to stop playing small and to own your power. I'm getting into that. I got 3 key points I want to share with you today. And you're going to leave this episode lit up on fire, ready to step into it and really be that leader that you know you're being called to be. So let me ask you, if you've ever felt like you've been holding back, even though you're capable of more, trust me, you are not alone. I have so been there. I'm going to share some personal stories with you today too, as I go through these 3 points. So many high achievers get stuck in the, I'm successful, but I still feel like I'm not fully owning it. I'm not fully stepping into it, into that cycle. Can you relate? Give me an amen if you can relate. Well, today we're going to talk about how to break free of that, how to start showing up as the powerhouse that you are. Okay, so settle in, my friend, because we are getting into it. So I've got 3 points that I want to, and I'm keeping this short and simple because you know what? When we drag things out too long, like seriously, we got stuff to do. Our brains get overloaded. I really bullet point things when I'm trying to absorb information. I just give it to me. So I'm giving it to you the way I like to get it, because if you're here, it's because you resonate with my style of coaching and my style of communication. So here we go. Let's go. Okay, point number 1. Okay, we're talking about how to stop playing small, okay? And how to really step up into to be the powerhouse that you are. You got to own your power. You got to quit playing small. We're done with that. All right. We left that. And if you've been doing that, we're leaving that. Like today, we're like, see ya. Bye-bye. No more of that. We're moving forward. All right, here's the first point. I want to talk about the hidden reasons why you might be playing small in your life, in your business, in your life. Like just look at the whole thing, okay? So here are some hidden reasons. Number 1, fear of judgment. It's a real thing. Like fear of judgment. You're worrying about what will people think if I really freaking go for it? What will they think if I go for it? So if you have already, your life, like you are a go-getter, you've set goals, you're accomplishing your goals, your life's moving along, and everyone else from the outside's like, they're like, you're crushing it. They don't think that you're someone that's holding back. And then you fear that if you do the thing and keep going after the thing that you're wanting to do, if you don't play small anymore and you show up unapologetically, authentically in your everyday life, then you fear the judgment of other people going, why is she doing that? Is she not happy with where she's at and what she's already done? Is it not enough? I mean, those are real things. I mean, those are things that I know I've heard in the whispers in my life I call them the audience people, because they're not really in your daily life. So they don't really know your life, but they're just I call them the people in the bleachers. So it's real easy to, to form opinions and have judgments when you're sitting in the bleachers. And I really I'm more interested in the people on the field doing the work, playing the game, putting in the reps, putting in the practice, like that, I mean, they're side by side with you, right? They're in the trenches with you. They're doing the work along with you. And when I say doing the work, I mean, I'm just talking about like, yes, you can relate this to your business or your life, but they're like seeing the real thing. They're not the people in the bleachers because there's always going to be people in the bleachers. And they just sit up there and they are eating popcorn and drinking a Coke and watching from afar. And who really freaking cares what the people in the bleachers say? I mean, that's how I feel about it. So please adopt a little bit of that mentality from me that who cares? Eat the popcorn, enjoy the show, because this what's going on is what's going on down here on the field. So enjoy the show. Um, but that fear of judgment, worrying about what people are going to think if you really go for it. And they're going to have all kinds of thoughts. They're going to have thoughts of support. They're going to have thoughts of there'll be people like going, yeah, go, that's awesome. There's going to be thoughts from others that are judgments of like, who does she think she is? I know I mean, I'm speaking from experience. Like I've battled those thoughts in my life. Who does she think she is? I remember, here's a personal example. From a while back, but when I first had started in the multifamily housing business, I started at 26. I was a leasing agent. That's the entry level position. It's really back then that was a common way. I mean, it still is a common way to enter the profession, but I hadn't worked in that industry before. I had worked in sales before, but that's where I started. Now, fast forward and to the when I got my first management, my first property manager or assistant manager. Actually, I'll just take the assistant manager when I first got promoted to that, which was fairly soon. And I'm sure there was, maybe some scuttle talk in the perimeters of like, why is she getting that? How did that happen? Well, I didn't really care because back then I was in complete survival mode of as a single mom. I was on government assistance as well. So like I was all in. I was all in on my building this career and I had zero time to worry about what other people were judging or thinking. But as I got moving along, and let's say as I became an assistant manager and then I became a manager, I did kind of I walked into that with a ton of confidence. I quickly felt like I could handle overseeing a lot of different properties. So I could manage the one I'm on, and I'm also could supervise other nearby properties. I felt really confident in my ability to do that. And so I did not play small at that point in my life. I showed up in a big, bold way. And that might have caused some judgment from others. But I did not, I knew, I mean, it did cross my mind like, what are my coworkers going to think? This is a pretty bold move. This is, if I go to my boss and I tell her this, that I want to, I wanted that opportunity to take on another apartment community. I mean, that's a pretty bold move. I haven't done this for that long. Others have been here a lot longer than me. So yeah, I mean, those thoughts definitely ran through my mind. And I definitely thought about that fear of judgment from others, from coworkers, because I mean, I did want to, I wanted to be well liked within my coworkers and the group that I was with. And so I did have that, fear of judgment, but I like recognized it and I was like, yeah, no, not going to worry about it. And I'm going to show up big and I'm believe I can do this. So I'm going to make these, ask these questions, see if this is a possibility. When the opportunity comes up for whether it was a promotion or taking on another property, I'm going to raise my hand and say, pick me, pick me. I want it. I want to do it. And so that was a time that I saw the fear of judgment, show up, rear its head because, hadn't been there that long, or there are people that had been there longer than me. I mean, I had those things kind of going through my mind. Who does she think she is? Raising her hand for that opportunity. Well, I decided not to listen to any of that fear of judgment of others. And I really went for it. and I did not play small, and it paid off tenfold. So I know how easily that can get into our brain. Now, that's not the only time that has come up in my head. That's just one example. But the fear of judgment is a really very real thing. And so you got to really that harness that ability to not worry about what other people think. Through the years, even that time especially, and through the years, I've always reminded myself that they ain't paying my bills. Okay. They're not writing the check. Back then, I mean, I was really in a corner. Like I had to, if you ever been in a position where you have to make something work, then you get it, right? You get real creative real fast. And so I was like, when I started kind of getting caught up in that loop of that fear of what others would think, if I really went for it, I quickly reminded myself, they're not, they're not paying me at the end of the month. I'm not getting a check from them every 2 weeks. So I'm not going to play up and worry about the performance for them. I'm going to show up in the best way that my employer of the job that they've hired me to do. And I'm going to just ball out on that the best I can. Now, it wasn't perfect, made tons of mistakes, but that's the beauty of making mistakes and learning from them. Like, I didn't worry about the judgment of others. Even when something didn't work out, I was like, have your moment over there because I'm regrouping and I'm going back at it. So please recognize that your fear of judgment from other people seriously can keep you playing small in your life. The second thing of hidden reasons, or a second way that hidden reasons can show up in your life that you're playing small, is the comfort zone traps. The traps of that whole comfort zone thing. Even high achievers subconsciously can fall into that trap of being safe, having familiar success, right? So it can easily happen to high achievers as easily as anyone else. So if you're a go-getter, I get it. Like one of those little hidden traps is that you get back into the comfort zone. Like you do stay doing what you're successful at. So you don't want to branch out, right? So, and again, that ties back to the fear of judgment. So you got to totally release those things. Quick example of that, of when I was making my notes for this podcast and I thought about it, I was like, okay, what can I share with you of when a comfort zone trap happened to me? And I would say that it was when, I've been in the multifamily housing business and still am, have been in that business for, I'm losing track. I think it's 27 years now. And when I had stepped away from day-to-day operations of our company and was making a pivot, not sure exactly where I was going to land, but I ended up in the coaching space and in the online space and working as a life coach and then high performance coach. So a comfort zone trap for me could have been staying subconsciously, just stay safe in the career I've always been in, that I've had massive success in, that I know front, back, sideways, up and down, and just stay there and just be quiet and just do that for the rest of your life. Now, if you're called to do that, fantastic. I was being called to do something different, to build something on top of that. So what I learned is I can still love that industry that I'm in. And also, I think we always just get caught in this trap of it's got to be this or this. Well, why can't it be both? So I love multifamily housing. And I also love the business of coaching and speaking. So I started venturing out and starting a business in that area. Now, to stay in a safe, familiar success, I would just stay with business number one, right? And so that's playing small because I know there's more. And so I decided when I really decided, which that was a process, but when I decided to stop playing small on the new business that I had created, like it was a game changer. It was like game over. So realize, even as a high achiever, that subconsciously you could be finding ways to stay safe in your already successful pockets of your life. Third thing on hidden reasons is self-doubt disguised as waiting for the very right time. I'll put in air quotes, waiting for the right time. Or another way to say that is you need more preparation. My friend, you don't need more preparation. You don't need to wait for the right time. That is simply a stall tactic that you are giving yourself because you're just not wanting to step in to your own power, to step in to, you're just dimming your light. That's all that is. That's all that is. So just recognize that. Like we've got to work through that. Just recognize that. And in my Flourishing Edge Inner Circle, which is my private membership group that is month to month, we deep dive into breaking through the fears, the self-doubt, and create an identity that matches your next level you. That's exactly some of the things that we work through inside that membership, the coaching that you get every month. I have new content in there every week. I have a promo right now running. We're reopening the doors to that membership in March of 2025. There'll be a link down below in the show notes so you can get to the information page. But I am doing a special promotion for the first 10 women that sign up for that you will be getting 1 hour free, which I can't believe I haven't done this before, 1 hour free of one-on-one coaching with me. So that is going to be a very personalized session that you will get with me. And it's a really great way to get a topic and get some massive clarity on it and leave with some steps to take massive action on it. So anyways, know that, and it's only for the first 10 that sign up for March. Okay. All right, let's take a breath. I know I was really fired up on that section, but I really do feel like a lot of the things there's so many hidden reasons on why high achievers can play small in their life. And it just sneaks up on you. All right, second point I want to make on to stop playing small and to own and step into your own power. The second thing is how to recognize it when you are shrinking instead of expanding. How to recognize when you are shrinking instead of expanding. So here are some signs that you are playing small or you're trying to just keep yourself small, just kind of keep yourself in that little safe space. And again, these are sneaky. These are very subtle things in our life. So pay attention. You're avoiding opportunities because they feel, quote, too big. Have you had an opportunity to do a project, to work on a team, to lead a team, to do something maybe you haven't done before because it feels too damn big? So it scares the crap out of you. And you already start dialing yourself back, doing the shrinking because you're going to just kind of shrink it down instead of expanding into the fullness of you. Have you been there? Have you ever been there and then kicked yourself in the butt later? I have. I totally have. So know that if you are avoiding opportunities because they feel too big, all that is you shrinking yourself down instead of allowing yourself to expand into that full version of yourself, that next level version. How are you going to get to that next level version if you're always feeling like everything's too big and you're not quite ready for it? You're not going to get there. So we have to stop avoiding those opportunities. Also, another thing on how to recognize that you're trying to shrink yourself is that you downplay your achievements. You downplay your success. Oh my gosh, have I been guilty of this? Yes, and amen, I have. And it's crazy, it's ridiculous. I had, in fact, this really showed up for me as I started coaching. And I had a coach, and she was phenomenal. And she was an online business coach, and for the coaching I was doing in this space. And anyways, I remember her, and this isn't exactly the words that she said, but we were working on, I was bringing her, I knew her many, many years ago. So she kind of knew a little bit about my background. But I was kind of bringing her up to speed on, where things were now. And she had said to me, this is like in one of our maybe second session together. I remember her saying, you know, it, and again, I wish I could remember exactly how she said it, but she basically was calling me out, going, why aren't you saying that you're this? It's like you're dancing around all the things and you're like downplaying what you've accomplished in your life. And I started kind of like excusing it away, right? Well, I mean, but well, this, and then, anybody could do that, because you just start basically making all these reasons why you're essentially shrinking yourself. And that's exactly what I was doing. She's like, well, why don't you just say that it is a fact. You were a single mom on government assistance. Yeah. And now you have become this massively successful entrepreneur and rebuilt your life in all the ways. My marriage, I got 25 years with my husband, or 26 years now. Our family, the fulfillment part of my life. You know what I mean? I'm not just talking about business success. Because let's be clear, I am 100% on success and fulfillment. That's so important to me. Like that's a non-negotiable for me. And I find a lot of people that just chase the success, that they find themselves at a very, they finally hit a place where it's just really empty, and they thought it would feel different, and it doesn't match what they thought. And so, anyways, I coach a lot of my clients through that, so we can make sure that they're building a life that they truly desire. So I want to be really crystal clear on that is a huge value to me. That is a huge priority. So anyways, on this coaching session, so yeah, she was like, why aren't you just owning it? And I was like, I don't know. That's a really good question. And it really caused me to like realize that I was playing, like doing that exactly what I'm talking to you about today, was playing small. I was doing, trying to shrink myself instead of allowing myself to expand. It's almost like I wanted to, like, I was almost, I don't know. It was weird. It's the way she pointed it out. I didn't realize I was doing it. I will tell you that for sure. And I said, well, I don't know why I'm not just saying it. I didn't really have a good reason other than maybe I was worried about the fear of others, the judgment, worried about, let me rephrase that because I got jumbled on my words, worried about what others would think. So I feared their judgment of going back to point number one. Oh, she thinks she's all that in a bag of chips. Look, first of all, I know that my life has, like, the grace of God is 100% on my life. And that is something that I absolutely know. And so, and I also believe that it takes a village, it takes a team, and it's never about one person. So I think that's why I had kind of a disconnect there, because I felt like if I like owned that I was like trying to take too much, what I call too much personal credit for it. Now, God's played a huge part in my life of bringing these opportunities to me, opening the door, giving me helping me have the courage to walk through the door to the opportunity, to face the challenge, to overcome the doubt. So once I kind of settled into that, I worked through that and I no longer downplay my potential. I no longer downplay my achievements. But I also, I don't get too wrapped up in them either, because it's not my identity. So but that is definitely a sign that you're trying to shrink instead of expand. And I had to do a lot of work on that. And I'm thankful for her as my coach, that she helped me really kind of get through that and see that in a different way. Also, another way of shrinking instead of expanding, I've done this a million times as well, getting stuck in busy work instead of high impact work that's really going to move the needle, make the most impact in your life or in your business that you want to make. And I am queen of just getting on the busy work, right? Because I like to get things done. I love to check things off my list. But what I had to learn, and again, this started a lot of years ago, in my career, and I still have to really watch this area for myself now because I will get really wrapped up in what I call busy work. You know what I'm saying? You ever done that? And then you just do all this busy crap. And a month into it, you're like, well, this isn't really impacting, my life or my business in the way that I was wanting to do. So that really matters. And it really is a way that we can kind of do that shrinking instead of expanding. And again, inside my membership, we work together, but I have coaching sessions in there that are confidence building strategies because that's what you need. You need someone that is reminding you of things that sometimes you already know, and sometimes it's things that you're having an aha moment on. And I'm walking alongside of you as well as the community and taking bolder actions and rewire your success mindset. So that is weaved into my membership, and another huge benefit of why it pays to be dialed in, where you have a place to go and this is all self-paced when you go into the membership. And yes, there are live coaching sessions monthly. So you can, get your specific like hot topic item addressed. But it's just to have that community, have a place to go that you can tap in and dial in, and you're going to get that confidence building. You're going to get that mindset work in. Third point, and this is the last point, okay, is I'm going to just give you, I've got like four to share with you, 4 steps on how to start owning your power today. Because I'm all about taking massive action now. This does no good if we are just going to table this and say, I'll do that next month. No, this is all about what can we do. When I'm coaching someone, I like to really dial in, and so we can get to what is something within the next 24 hours that you can take action on that's going to build that momentum and move the needle. So, point 3, steps to owning your power today. Decide this. You have to decide this right now. No more half in and half out energy. You're either all in or you're not. You have to make that decision for yourself. You can't be like half in, half out. I mean, that is not a powerful place for you to be coming from. Okay. You're just kind of like, maybe I'll do it a little bit. You have to decide we're not going to go half in anymore. We have to go all in on my energy. The second thing is you have to act as if. Act as if. Just remember that. Act as if. 3 small words. Act as if. Show up like the version of yourself that you want to be when you walk in a room, when you show up at a meeting, when you jump on that phone call, when you go on the date with the person that you're, a new relationship that you're starting. Show up as if. Act as if. Remember, act as if. If you can just remember that and remind yourself of that, it will help you to start owning your power immediately. Surround yourself with expansion. Your circle affects your confidence. Who's in your corner? Who is in your corner? That is so important. I've talked about that on so many episodes. It is so critical. So, no more half in energy. Okay. We're not half in, because when you do that, you're just shrinking yourself down, you're dimming your light. No more of that. You're all in. You're all in on your energy. Okay. You're 100%. You're here I am. Act as if. That's the second thing. Act as if. When you walk into the meeting, when you walk in to have the conversation, when you walk in to meet your friends for lunch, act as if you are already that person that you're wanting to be. That, I mean, it's just critical. It kind of ties into the one before about with the confidence building. So again, we cover that a lot in the membership. So here's the thing. I've given you 3 points today on how to own your power like the high achiever that you are. And it's up to you to start putting these things into practice. Okay, I always say it's not what we know, it's what we do, right? It's not what we know, it's what we do. I know tons of smart people out there that aren't doing a dadgum thing with it. So I don't want to know what you know. I want to know what you're doing. So that's most important. In the Flourishing Edge Inner Circle, it's built for high achievers just like you, ones that are really ready to step into their full power without hesitation. And even when that hesitation shows up, guess what? Inside that membership, that's where the support comes from. On those days that you're kind of have that self-doubt creeping in, that you're not feeling super confident, that you feel like you're playing small, guess what? You have a place to go and plug into that's going to lift you out of that. It's going to give you the support. It's going to light you up. It's going to give you that spark. And that is one of the benefits of being part of a community like that. So if you're ready to stop playing small and to own your success in your life and in your business, this is your space. You need to be there. I would love to see you on the inside of the membership. So I'm going to wrap up real quick, and I just really want to invite you to join me inside the Flourishing Edge Inner Circle, inside this private group, this monthly membership, and really come get the support, the mindset shifts. Come get the accountability, the encouragement, the coaching, the training, the tools for your life toolkit that you need so that you can step up, own your power, and no longer shrink back, no longer play small in your own life. It's time for you to really step forward in that. And I really would love to see you join us on the inside of that. The doors open in March. We're starting in March. The doors will open a little bit sooner than that. There'll be a link below for you to go to and to join and sign up. And I really encourage you, if there is a month-to-month option, and then there's also, you could just go, there's an option to, there's a little bit of a savings if you sign up and do the whole 12 months at once. But if that's not in your budget, you can go month to month, and that's an option there as well. So it's all on that info page. Just go down, find the link, click on that, and you'll see all the information there. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out via email, DM, And definitely we will get you that question answered ASAP. So this flourishing edge inner circle is really for the person who's ready to step into their highest potential. And they know that they need to shine the light on their personal growth, on the things. The personal growth trickles into every aspect of your life. It trickles over into your relationships. It trickles over into your business. If you're an entrepreneur, you really need the mindset shifts and the success mindset to keep going forward each day. If you're in the multifamily housing space like I am, this is a game changer. Let me tell you, this is going to, first of all, I get you. Like I said earlier, up, down, sideways, backwards, like I get that business and I understand the day-to-day things and the things that are challenging you and going through your mind. And this is such a great membership to get filled up, to get fueled up, and to really give yourself the tools to have massive success in your life. All right, my friend, it's been a fun episode, and I hope you have pulled a lot of value from it. Um, Other than that, I will either see you on social media channels, so come hang out with me there. I'm on all of them. I would love to hear from you. Otherwise, I will see you next week right here on the podcast. Have a great rest of your week. I want to thank you for tuning in today to the podcast, and I hope you've enjoyed the conversation and all the info that's been shared today. And I hope you've come away with a few ideas on how to make the most out of it for your life. If you loved this episode, be sure to share it with your friends and family. And also make sure you subscribe to the podcast and tap that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Also, it would mean the absolute world to me if you would leave a podcast review. So until next time, my friend, keep flourishing and thriving and live your life to the